Good morning, YouTube. It's real good. And it's my first day back at work. I was honestly dreading this and also realized that since I'm only going to be back for a couple of weeks, there might not be much expectation, so I might actually be able to take it easy. And it's feeling that way so far. How do you go set up a whole rig, laptops, monitors, see if I can get the Wi-Fi set up, start catching up on months of emails and Slacks. Oh boy. Already just from the morning stand up call, I decided to start taking notes on lessons learned or lessons observed in my experience. So, for example, I've been feeling some dread for the past week, a dread that feels like it might be the culprit for destabilizing things like my sleep, my eating. But also this morning, I felt some excitement and also some shame. And I have a big star next to I like busy parallel processing and productivity. So I didn't actually feel any productivity, any personal productivity in being in the stand up call, but I did enjoy cleaning up my kitchen while on the stand up call. And I felt and remembered that sense of busyness and part of something. Now, I don't anticipate feeling that trying to get back into this work. So let's see, I do not want to be working web software with these people anymore. I do not want to set up my work rig here with shitty Wi-Fi. Excuse my language. I liked a quote that I heard, which was just "Let's make progress," and I wanted to share that with you. This is a hat tip to making at least incremental progress forward. Sometimes a project, and maybe our most important project or our most important interest, or that thing that lingers at the top of our to-do list, it feels big, it feels daunting. And so this note, "Let's make progress," is really leaning into the idea that progress can be incremental. So this is just do it combined with any bit is helpful. Take a step forward, learn, look around, take a break. We can take another step forward later. And then the final one, big star, as y'all know that have been watching me struggle with things like TurboTax. There was a video that my camera completely lost and dropped. Star, I hate technology. Every time it breaks, lags, glitches is not real. Yeah, I'm so terribly sick of technology. I'm getting to a point where it's so much nicer to just be sitting in reality, doing nothing. Having technology glitch out and drop saved files and crash and lose progress. And even if you save something, like when we saved the music I was working on and then it didn't say, like, it's miserable to me. It's miserable. So I hate technology, especially when it's not working. Yeah, so far, big lessons. I like being busy and feeling that, and this let's make progress concept. Let's go ahead and move into this day and see how we go. Might go take a quick walk. Probably gonna have a little bit of oatmeal and start setting up the work rig. And it also looks like the videos that I was trying to upload for y'all overnight has stalled again. So yet again, I'm gonna do a little fight with the technology. Well, email's still blocked. Slack won't load. Feeling pretty low pressure. Checked in with my manager. He's gonna let people know I'm leaving sometime next week. My belly feels full and healthy, and I don't really feel like pushing any harder to try to work. I guess I could start making a to-do list of what would be actually high value. For example, I'm probably reaching out to each person on the team, reconnecting, making that connection. That would have some personal value. Otherwise, yeah, I can continue sorting out stuff in my own personal real life. I might even sit and meditate for a minute and go for a walk. Let's do it. I notice kinds of shame and insecurity coming up for me, maybe as a man, feeling like it's unacceptable or culturally unacceptable, shameful, or unattractive to not feel certain. I feel unsafe in my lack of certainty of path right now. And then I feel shame around that, like that's unattractive and not acceptable as a man. Somewhat to counterbalance that, I'm really grateful for the stand-up call this morning where I was multitasking, making breakfast, cleaning up the kitchen, and to have the feeling of joy in that busy productivity. It's been a long time since I felt that, and I liked that. I liked feeling a part of a productive context, even though I don't feel like I was about to be productive, nor do I even feel particularly capable at the moment in that work context. But I was also using my hands, affecting my real world in a way that felt productive. And I liked the sense of busyness, the parallel processing of it all. This feels a little bit lacking when I'm doing that on my own. When I'm doing it on my own, I seem to like to approach it with a more zen, yin, relaxed, somatic, embodied kind of sentiment, which is very different than the busy, agitated, excited, productive feeling that I'm describing during the phone call and cleaning the kitchen. And I think it's fantastic also to have access to the zen, peaceful, present while you work. Call it yin work as well. But I feel like some things don't get done without a sort of conviction, busy, productive, yang focus, like a slight aggression, like a 1 out of 10 on the aggression scale. And also, I think most of us, especially anyone who's had corporate jobs, know that just being in meetings can feel useless if you're not actually feeling productive at the same time. So the combination of feeling in a productive context on call or in a meeting, as well as getting things done at the same time, felt really nice. And I really liked it in this case with the phone call, the Zoom meeting, the remote situation where I was not on video call. I had the audio, I could listen in and be actually doing physically productive things in my real world. I don't envy the people that bring their laptops to meetings, kind of don't pay attention. People notice them and don't really like that. And they're on their laptop doing laptop work. Like, I don't really want to be doing that either. It was really nice to be working with my hands while on an intellectual, productive call. If y'all are getting value, hit that like button. If y'all got comments, do the thing with the comments. If y'all aren't subscribed, what's the deal, yo? Smash that subscribe button. Hit that bell for the notifications. Let's go for a walk. Yeah. So let's practice a bit of self-awareness and uncovery. I notice that I'm seeming to be in a bit of a silly mood, as well as speaking kind of softly. Uncovering on those things, or just bringing some curiosity and wonder, connecting some dots. I'm wondering if the quiet voice is a sort of hiding, or maybe almost like I feel like I'm back in the office. Or maybe I felt like while I was on the call working in the kitchen, even though it was on mute, I felt like I was hiding. I need to hide. So I'm whispering. Or maybe it's simply just that it's morning. And I do have neighbors that could hear me if I yelled. But that doesn't hold me up usually. So that quietness is interesting. And then the silly goofy, which I find value from. I'm not trying to break these things. I'm just observing. This is how we can learn about ourselves and uncover it into our inner world instead of just looking out at this beautiful outer world. I'm wondering if that goofiness, which feels a little forced, a little boxed, if only by the quiet voice, but also it doesn't feel like a free, expressive silliness. I'm wondering if that's kind of like a self-consoling, self-therapeutic, like subconscious trying to keep my mood and attitude up while in this work context. I know that I got a lot of push from my boss to love my work. I was like, what? I drive into the office every day and sit on a computer. You want me to love this? I thought work was something that we're supposed to tolerate and make sure it's sustainable and make sure we deliver value to the employer. So I felt like they were forcing attitudes on us. It actually caused problems between me and one of my coworkers where I felt like they were being really bizarrely passive aggressive. But I think maybe they were just getting pressure from our manager to love the job. So yeah, beware forcing attitudes. It's so odd. Anyway, back to me. So I'm wondering if some of that seed was planted subconsciously, and it's like, oh, I'm in a work context. I need to keep my mood happy and joyful and silly. Like, what ridiculous first world problems. Can we just focus on getting work done? It's a workplace. But at the same time, I super appreciate this work culture. I really do. They are doing good things. So as much as I'm observing, and they even sound like I'm complaining, so it was is for another minute a fantastic company to work for. But I don't want to work with you anymore. I want to be doing something far more meaningful, positively affecting people's lives. It's not just wealthy investors and helping make apps and spending all my time online. I want to be here with you. I want you to be here in person, doing Uncovery, building community together. And let's get real about what I really want. I really want an exceptional community of people on land together, establishing a community around a culture of healthy intimacy and healthy selves. We get so far away from all of the time that we waste in selfishness and ignorance and all the noise. There's so much noise in this world, informational pollution. God, I would really love to get into ourselves, practicing healthy interpersonal relating, and sharing joy in the real world together. Wow. Seriously. If you have any interest whatsoever in that kind of thing, share in the comments. Let us know what you're into, what you would bring to community. I mean, for me, I really think the core seed needs to be about healthy interpersonal relating. I think our society and our cultures and us as individuals tend to be so far away from the ability to start a healthy community that it really seems like what I would be focusing on for the core group, the first 5, 10, 20, or 100 people. But anyway, I digress. But you can see where my inspiration goes. And this is where my joy is. I'm supposed to be working, but I'm out walking in paradise, talking to you about things that are meaningful to me. And it's not building software to make rich people richer. What's meaningful to me is healthy intimacy. Healthy intimacy. Healthy intimacy. What does that mean? It doesn't just mean community, hanging out and party. It means, hey, look, wow, we're awake and alive and conscious. Let's meet each other. And let's meet each other in a way that's constructive and respectful. And let's don't worry about shopping for doodads and manipulating our appearances to climb the hierarchies of status and money and power and fame. Yeah, you could do that. Let me know how that goes. I'm gonna be checking my mail. Nothing. Winner! Means I ain't got nothing to do in the mail department. So let's talk more about work though. What is the work that you want to be doing? Go and take a minute to reflect on this, or take the rest of your life. Actually, no, let's make incremental progress. Go ahead and hit down in the comment section, even if you think it's not going to be quite right and wrong. What is it? What is the work that you want to be doing? Here, give me a couple of seconds and I'll share it with you here. The work I want to be doing is studying a little bit and contributing in real life with real people a lot of bit toward healthy self-work and healthy interpersonal intimacy in a place where I'm surrounded or have high availability to healthy, ideally attractive and intelligent people and community. Yeah. The core of what I want to be doing is helping people in real life toward a healthy relationship with themselves and others. For sure. Yep. What about you? Comment section. Hit it. I can feel some unexpected sadness come up. Might be a sort of nostalgia, preemptive loss almost. This sort of reflection on, oh God, I don't know what to do. And then I like that my mind reverted to make progress. Just make incremental progress. And I liked that. And I felt some contrast, though, with things that feel somehow larger, like the place that I rent and the amount of money that it costs to pay that rent, to stay here in paradise, which is full of abundance and richness and growth for me, which I'd love to be siphoning into the world for you. This feels like the right place for me. But I also want to be open to the idea that I don't want to be clinging. If you've been listening, you know that I definitely cling to things that feel like high value. Now, I am excited about the potential of going back to school, getting a PhD in psychology, maybe studying and researching and bringing more clinical legitimacy to the uncovery process, and then with a title on my name, publishing about it. But also, there is a chance I don't get accepted. I mean, statistically, there's a high chance that I don't get accepted in the program. Not to mention, I'm not even sure it's what I want to do, for sure. But I could say it's incremental progress to go ahead and apply, see if it's even an option. But I could also consider it to be incremental progress to wrap my head around leaving the cabin. That one strikes me as choosing loss, right? It seems like I'm clear that I love the cabin. So it seems like forward would be making it work. As opposed to, it's like if I have to leave the cabin, then I guess it would be appropriate to process coming to grips with an actuality. But if I have something that feels pretty clear, like, I love where I live. It's full of abundance for me, psychologically, emotionally, interpersonally, even physically. Embrace it. Accept that I do have some certainty. I feel certain about that. I feel certain about these things that are meaningful to me. These are strong indicators of path forward. Even though it might take me a little while to wake up to reality, perhaps, and acknowledge it. Acknowledge and accept that it's good, not only in theory, but in that it's real and feeling real good to me. And then the work is go ahead and make progress, make incremental progress, find out how this can come to fruition. You know. So with that sentiment, when we get back to the office on the porch, I'm gonna go ahead and make a tiny bit of progress towards looking at what programs are potentially available at the local universities, and maybe even work on the book a little bit more. Maybe go set up some uncovery plans. Okay. Yeah, there's an interesting, like, almost excitement, almost relief feeling but it comes with like a significance and a meaning. So the slight weight is feeling in my chest, a symbol of like an upward drilling, almost like a comic or videotape drilling of making progress, tunneling into forward future, as opposed to feeling a wall and falling back down into some wasteful ease. It's right direction for work. It's like a work gang sign. The reality goodness work gang sign. I love it. Oh man. Interesting example here of incremental work. You didn't actually pick up your garbage, but you did keep it into a small pile. So, slight thank you. Some thanks to the agitation likely provoked by getting back to work today, because lots of rich, productive messaging is going on. Stuff that maybe in loneliness would be channeled more into song. In fact, might have to go grab that piano. Actually, maybe I'll just go into town and buy a guitar. That could be fun too. Actually, yeah. Let's go do that. Oh my goodness. What if I'm allergic to stress? Seems like that would be a problem in this world. in this culture with this ego, what then would be a sustainable, viable path if someone is allergic to stress? Came upon that thought question while discussing with a buddy. I don't have an answer yet. And part of it's, what can my ego tolerate? I'm so used to high performance, working hard, achievement, probably deriving a lot of sense of self-worth and safety from that. And shaking at the foundation of safety is super unsettling. Feels like it might be hard for me to get into anything. Foundation. There's another concept. Foundation. The foundation for anything. Strong foundation. Foundation for relationship. Foundation for self and life. Foundation for a business. Foundation for a home, a family, any sort of social relationship, a project, a hobby, an event you're organizing. What is the foundation? What are you building something on? And maybe in all of these cases, the foundation is you, yourself. Important to have a strong foundation, then it's important to have a strong self. I certainly feel worry, feeling like as I age, I feel far more wise, but also more frail. It's almost like wisdom comes out of necessity. There's a lot of hard-earned wisdom. Through things like hypersensitivity, it's like there's a higher bandwidth of information and sensation and ability to see and feel more in myself, in others, around, intellectually, and also more stress, more drain. Such would be a blessing and a curse. I feel terrible. Plain and simple. Yeah. Maybe I'll be able to start feeling okay again after this job's over. Or maybe I'll start feeling again tomorrow or in 5 minutes. But I felt progressively terrible over the past week. Sleep schedule is out of whack. My habits are going downhill. And yeah, I guess I can be glad that this job is going to be over soon. But I'm also panicking and kind of starving for a clear path forward that I feel like I can really confidently get behind. But I'm worried that the path that I want is actually to be sort of removed from the system, which I'm scared means that I want to be lazy. And yeah, beyond any shame and embarrassment about that, I'm concerned that it just doesn't work. Definitely concerned that my ego won't be okay with it. But I'm concerned that it just doesn't physically work, like that it's not a sustainable lifestyle, that being allergic to stress would be a death sentence. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm cleaning up and packing up my stuff, and I'm gonna get out of this little cabin that has become my office and was never intended to have Wi-Fi or all these screens in my face. The matrix penetrating my paradise sanctuary here. And I'm gonna go head into town, eat, move, meet with friends. There's dance tonight. Probably slackline, acro yoga, contact improv, silent disco. So far that's what's on the agenda. And really missing the deep sense of inner peace I had in the space that I had up until about a week or two ago, where I was able to come to you with a lot more clarity, not feeling as distracted. But I'm also kind of appreciating you getting to see me panic and freak out in real time. I feel like this might be valuable Maybe you'll find me more relatable. Maybe you'll find this topic relatable. And maybe as we work through this together, you'll find value out of it, right? We'll discover what works, going from extreme job dissatisfaction and feelings of helplessness and hopelessness and panic to working through things. For example, should probably drop in and process this somatically. Okay, let's do it. Give me a minute. All right. You know how we get started. 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Find a seated position. Close your eyes, long through the spine, tall on the crown, in through the nose. Long and deep, and then exhaling, relaxing and releasing the body. Release the shoulders, the jaw. And in through the nose, expanding belly, ribs. Out through the mouth, releasing and dropping in. All right, I'll check in as things come up, and I'll share with you a bit of the somatic processing that comes up right now. As I drop into my body, I feel a warm, brownish orange, generalized tangle thickness, weighty, crescent, diagonally shaped kind of tension. But I notice that I actually can't find yet any of the feelings of panic and agitation. I get a little headache. And I imagine it's almost like I'm in a different place now, just by dropping into the somatic. I now have space from the panic and the fears. I'm noting this as feeling very simple and obvious and relevant. I'm avoiding going into stories as I stay with the somatic. Feeling tension in my neck, noticing my hands moving somewhat freely. Noticing my posture feeling fairly strong. A tension in my right big toe. Yeah, tension across above the left eyebrow, in the head, down the nose. So yeah, most notably, all this agitation, the fear, the franticness seems to live in my head when I'm out of touch with my body. When I get to drop in and be present in my body, I feel pretty much great. So yeah, to interrupt this meditation, it seems pretty obvious that work or anything that requires me to go off into my head, whether it's a relationship and fantasizing about the future and trying to figure out what I do and don't want to participate in or agree to or restrict in my life, or if it's work where I'm supposed to be on a laptop, logic and coding and all these things, puts me in a mind space that I've come to learn as pretty agitated. Yeah. I can remember absolutely loving academics, and maybe my mind would still love strict mathematics and derive joy from that, but I think it would feel pretty meaningless. Yeah, when it comes to playing into the machine via being in my mind, yeah, it seems to produce a terrible agitation and stress that's just very blatantly not worth it to me. Being in this somatic space, I feel a sort of ease and goodness and relief. I feel options. I feel open to the idea that I'm done working. I feel open to the idea that I'm done. That it's time to be done. And it's time to go off to the islands or to the monastery. Probably won't even write a book.
Maybe I won't even do these anymore. Go ahead and hit that like button if you want more of these videos. Let me know. Hit the comments. If you want more, ask. Definitely hit that subscribe button. We'll start the conversation. If we're not having conversation, I don't really know how much this means to you or not. If you're relating, share your story. Share your side. Yeah, I'm gonna go drop more into my body here. I encourage you to do the same. I'll be back in a bit.
That's so wild to me that I've been so frantic and terrified and agitated all day, increasingly for a week, and I just sit down and drop into my body. Everything feels fine. I don't think it's a disconnectedness when I'm in the somatic practice. When I'm sitting and dropping in, I don't think I'm disconnected from the feelings of franticness. In a way, I think it's the other way around, that the franticness and all this other stuff comes from a disconnect from dropping into my body. That said, I don't really think I can be dropped into my body in a purely somatic space and trying to write code. So it's such disembodied work, man. My heart goes out to all of you who are still logging into Zoom calls and doing this remote thing where it's so disembodied. You're disconnected from your coworkers, from their faces. Sometimes you get to hear their voices, but people use Slack and email, text. People cut off from their loved ones. Doing this work that's online, pixels, and trying to appear certain ways. My God, the world I want is right here. And I want my world to be here in reality with me. This is where I want my life. This is where I want my world. In real life. I feel so angry right now against the Matrix. I'm done. I'm done with the Matrix. I cannot pursue the Matrix anymore. I realize that I'm going to have to participate and dabble while I wean myself off and grow this world. And I may need to continue because of how lucrative it is. It seems to be where all of business happens. Especially as a software engineer right now at the moment. Done with the Matrix. I'm so sick of it. Sick of social media, messages, phones. And I don't just want to come to real life and be alone. I want life in real life. So that's what I'm looking for. And it's remarkable to me that it seems like it's going to be a hard thing to figure out. Where are the communities where people are actually around each other in real life? You have to go woofing and work on farms or something. Yeah, this culture is so hot on everyone living in their own rooms, in their own spaces. Even when I've lived in houses with random people just shut themselves in their rooms. Playing games and watching YouTubes. It's the Matrix. We're all plugged into the Matrix. I need to get out. Let's take this dive. Red pill time. Get in touch with reality. Feel the feelings. What's real? What's real? Get out of the Matrix. Man, I cannot wait to be done with this job. All right. I'm going to keep being with the real world. I'm going to go meet up with some friends. I'm going to clean up some of my real world. I'm going to pack up some of my real world. I'm going to move my real world. And I'm going to be with some real people in the real world. I'll keep checking in here with y'all, talking to you to share ideas and let you know what's going on, because I do care about humanity, as frustrated as I am by some of the places that we find ourselves in, some of the systems that we find ourselves lost in, these patterns, and some of the attributes that seem a bit painfully common amongst us can bother me quite a bit, but gosh, I care. Gosh, I care. I want everyone to be able to lean towards reality and goodness, to meet their reality, to meet their goodness, and be able to move toward it. For me, I think it's important to notice real clear, it's not in the matrix for me. It's here in real life. All right. Talk to you again in a moment. Rebuilding life around real life, in real life. Having a real life. Real. Oh my gosh. Just turn this video off. Turn it off. Go away. Go outside and play. Seriously. Seriously. Real. It's still number one. God, this framework's so good. Oh, reality, goodness, and work. Not until you got reality. Just ate Mexican. Before that, talked to a buddy on the phone. Really beautiful-minded buddy. Talked for about an hour. I would like to remind myself, encourage you to notice who in your life has a beautiful mind, so that if you do get caught in a muddled mind space, you can reach out to them. I know when I'm being present in real life in my body, satisfied, full of community, I don't reach out to people on the phone, and he isn't local. But if I am stuck in my head, great buddy to reach out to. So lucky in so many ways. And I'm so glad to be out with that matrixed cabin full of Wi-Fi and monitors now. I gotta get rid of all that. All right, heading out to play. It's time to slackline, acro, contact improv, dance, silent disco, be out in the grass, flowers. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Fighting all your time.
I don't know where it's been. I'm pretty sure it's... I'm pretty sure I know what it was used for. I don't want it.
Sprinklers came on right at 11 p.m. Blew up by Cuddle Puddle. Right in the middle of the park. Absolute abundant reminder that real life is great. So when the matrix all falls away, life is good here. Oh, so nice. Okay. It's real good when I get with the real, and I get out of my head, and I get out of this work, and start shifting my whole life towards things that are real and meaningful and good. Get out of this matrix, rat race, ego matrix. Gosh, I am so grateful for the people in my life. I'm so grateful to be here in paradise. And I'm grateful to you. And I'm grateful to me. It's been real good. What a challenging day. This was day one, back at work. We just got 2 weeks of this, and then we are out. I'll see y'all again real soon. Good night.